Hello everybody, welcome back to Simulated Heaven, and we are in a new game called Gear City. And Gear City is a game which I've owned for a fair amount of time but haven't really gotten around to making a video. I've played the game a bit. I wouldn't say I played it extensively, but I've played it enough to have a basic understanding of the mechanics, although I think it's quite a hard game, so I really don't understand some of the best ways of playing the game at all. So if you guys have played the game, I'd love to hear from you if you have any advice as to what I should be doing. Anyway, this video will be the first video I'll just be making a vehicle. It's a bit like that game that I did a video on ages ago called Automation. And Automation is another game that I'm basically waiting for the game to develop a bit further before I make more videos on it. Basically, this game is a simulated game where you are at the helm of a car company, so you get to make cars and try to sell cars. Yes, anyway, let's do a new game. Save game as Sim Heaven 1, very original. Now, I'm going to put it on easy just because I have no idea how to play the game properly and I'll probably waste loads of money. I'm not sure when to start, 1930 or 1950? Maybe 1930. Okay, so continue. So this is like the location of your headquarters. Now, actually the first game I ever played, I tried to make it interesting and I tried to make my headquarters in Asia. I thought it would be really interesting, but it failed miserably. And I found out you can't really sell a lot of vehicles at the beginning. If you start near the beginning, like in 1930 or 1900, you can't make a lot. You can't sell a lot of vehicles there, which I suppose kind of makes a fair amount of sense. I even tried to start the last one in Ireland, and I found out Ireland I hardly sold any cars, and as soon as I started to sell in London, I basically had loads of cars there. You know, I sold loads of cars. So I think I'm just going to start in London or near London this time. Is it worth to be somewhere near London but not in London? No, the wage is the same, the average labour wage is the same, so let's just start in London. Okay, your name. London Car Company. I don't think I can think of anything else. No, I'm gonna. Oh, this is my name. Oops. So I'm going to be called Simulated CEO, and then the company name is here. Big Smoke, because I always use that to refer to London, because in England it is the Big Smoke. But also about cars, maybe that's not the best name, but hey, I don't think it really matters. It's kind of funny, that's the most important thing. USA, no, we can't have that. Side diamonds, center bar, bunnies. You can have dragons, a purple dragon or a bunny. That's random. This is basically the logo of the company that will, I imagine, appear on all the cars. Yeah, I seem to remember every time I look through these, I can never find one that I like. They all look weird to me. Purple check. Who would have that on a car? Dual yellow. No, again, weird. I always end up just going with something really basic. 3 bars. Let's just go with 3 bars. Yeah, looks a bit like a BMW sign that's gone wrong, I suppose. Yeah, let's continue then. So this is our office. This is the main hub of the game. I don't really understand everything. This is to do music. I'm going to turn the music down for copyright reasons. I would have done that in the menu, but I couldn't actually see a way of doing that in the menu. I did actually have a look before I started the video. I would imagine most of this music is not copyrighted, but still, I don't want to take a risk, because it's kind of annoying when you make a video on YouTube and it gets a copyright hit on the music and you have to try to get rid of the music and it ruins the audio. It's not cool, really. Anyway, so that's the music. This is how you can end a turn and move the time forwards. This is how you access your research area, the race teams, or the showrooms. You can actually, when you have loads of money, you can actually make a race team with your car. That's cool. Or with your brand, if you know what I mean. The showroom and also research department. So the research department is where you make the designs of all your things, like your vehicles, the chassis, the engine, blah de blah. Right, this is just how you save the game. This is like world events, because world events will actually affect the game. It's like obviously if there's a war, for example, then that will affect a lot. This is where you get the money stuff. This is where you do the money stuff. You get loans and do the banking stuff. Oh, and there's a stock system, so you can have an IPO. I didn't realize that before, actually, to be fair. And you have a gun and a teddy bear, which is kind of funny. That kind of made me laugh. Okay, so back into the office then. They say this is a quick way of managing stuff. I find this slightly confusing, so I've not really used this much. But it's supposedly a faster way. I suppose it's easy when you have lots of factories. You can just somehow command a group of factories quickly, I suppose. But like I said, I find that slightly confusing. Maybe because I don't have my head around the game enough yet, maybe. Okay, this is how you look at your map and you access the information about your factory and your branches. This basically will give you information about revenue, sales, various information that's quite important. This is like a memo thing. I don't find this that helpful at the moment, but I haven't played the game that much, so yeah. And a magazine to read reviews. I've never seen any of my vehicles in here. I don't really use this at all, but like I said, I haven't played the game that much. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into making our first vehicle. So we need to go to R&D department. We need to start off by designing a chassis. And we're going to use the advanced option because I found really advanced is kind of okay. It's not that hard, so you might as well use advanced over the assisted version. So we need to select the type of frame. Ladder frame looks very basic, or a backbone. Now I can see straight away that looks a bit more up to date. So let's go with the ladder frame, because we're gonna have a go at making a car which is very, very cheap at the very beginning. Okay, FF drivetrain. The front engine, front wheel drive drivetrain places the engine in the front and powers the car via the front wheels. This is a common drivetrain for economical and smaller vehicles due to the cheapness to manufacture. Okay, I believe this is what I went for last time when I tried the game before. Oops. Yeah. Is it? Yeah, and then I think the last option, rear engine, rear wheel drive. Yeah, I don't want that. Okay, so let's just go for front engine, front wheel drive. That seems like an okay option to me. Suspension, we're going to go with the cheapest leaf spring, I think, are we? Yeah, I think we need to make something very cheap. But surely that's... Yeah, I think it's fine, because we are in the 1930s. I think we should be fine with that. I mean, a swing axle would be lovely, but yeah, I have to make this very cheap. Very cheap. Okay, we're going to say that this chassis is called Basic Cheap. Okay, I'm just going to call it Basic Cheap. Okay, then it will basically take you here where you can play around with the information a bit more. So we already did frame designs, but you can kind of change the wheelbase. So let's make it a shorter wheelbase, because we're going to be using this for a very small car. So a shorter wheelbase, frame height, frame weight. I want to make it leaner a bit, because basically our car is not going to have a lot of power. Maximum supported engine length. Okay, we'll just leave that, I think. You know what, we're going to make it even leaner, a little bit shorter. Okay, I think that should be fine. Suspension. So this is why I said it's actually okay for you to use advanced option, because they use all these kind of sliders, which I think still works well. Okay, stability, free, steady, not sure what that means. Ride comfort, we don't care about ride comfort, this is going to be a cheap vehicle. Indifferent concern, performance, we don't care about that really, do we? Braking, I'm just going to go for durability. That's going to be our major thing here, durability. Yeah. Oh, the more free a chassis is, the less time engineers will spend stable and adjusting abilities. Okay, so let's just reduce that a little bit. We don't want it to be a complete awful vehicle, but basically, like I said, we're making something very cheap. Okay, let's get rid of that. Then we go on to design focus, the next one. Design performance. So we don't really care about performance that much. Design ride control. Now this is a very basic vehicle. What we do care about is strength and the dependability of the vehicle. We do care about. So let's do it like that. Ladder frame. Okay, so that's fine. Get rid of that. Chassis design. Component quality. Again, this is going to be low. Not super low, but it's going to be low. This thing needs to be cheap. Basic technology. Let's just take it a little bit up from there. We don't want it to be a tractor quite, but it's going to be almost a tractor. Manufacturing techniques, again, very basic. Okay, that should be good for our first vehicle. Okay, then we can look at a summary. Yeah. Ooh, the cost is quite cheap. 69. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it at that. I think that should be fine. We've got some hundreds. I'm not sure we need 100 on there, do we? Let's bring that down to 70. Just because I'm pretty sure we don't need it to be that strong, that durable. You know, and I'm sure we can save a bit more money, can we? Is that gonna save us? It's gonna save us a little bit, but not much. Okay, let's leave it at that then. I'm quite happy with that. Okay, so that's the chassis sorted. Now, if we look over on the right side, we can see. Overall rating is not too bad actually. 2 yellow or amber stars. It's very strong. The comfort's going to be rubbish. Performance rubbish. Design requirement okay. Manufacturing requirement is okay. Okay, so let's just start that off. I just want to make sure that worked. Yes, it did. So it's going to take us 5 months to design this baby. Okay, so design, engine, advance. So we're going to go again for something very basic, very cheap. So we're going to go for a single cylinder engine. I want to go for 4-stroke just because I don't want it to be well, actually, it can be like a motorbike. Yeah, let's go for 2-stroke because it's going to be a very small vehicle, this. Okay, select induction system. So I suppose it will be almost like a motorbike style. Motorbike like car in a way. We're not going to have a turbo or a supercharger, are we? Okay, so engine name. Small, cheap. I'm just hoping that will help me to remember. Maybe it will. Okay, so again, like before, we can go to layout. This slide will change the displacement of the engine. Displacement is the total volume of air and fuel an engine can draw in during one cycle. Remember, there's no... Nah, I don't know. I really don't know anything about that slider. Let's reduce the weight a bit, a lot, because it's going to be a very very basic engine. That was the first one, right? Layout, yeah, just to check. Okay, then performance. Revolutions, reduce. Engine torque. We want good fuel economy. Do you think we can increase the revolutions a bit? We want to get as much power as we can out of the small engine that we have, if you know what I mean. That's kind of my view. That's my idea, to get as much as we can out of the small engine. Having said that, it's quite expensive, 175. So anyway, I need to change some sliders. So again, the quality of the components and everything is going to be very basic, because we're trying to go for something incredibly cheap here. And in my opinion, this is the best way to do it. That didn't really reduce much, did it? I thought that would have reduced more stuff anyway. Like, the cost, I mean. Anyway, focus on performance. Fuel economy is important. Dependability is important. I know what I said about the engine, but... no, I'm going to reduce that. Like so. Because, like I said, I don't want to go crazy on the old... Yeah. Right, and again, we don't need 100s for fuel economy, do we? 75 should suffice. Dependability. So, what is essentially happening here is it's taking all the information from the sliders and it's adding it into this for us. So this is like a summary. So in the future, if I knew this game very well, I would be able to probably choose things myself. Fuel economy 75. Without having to go through that. Okay, again, we're going to round this off to 70. You know what, let's put this to 70. Apply that. Yeah, 131 is cheaper. Seems like, anyway. I want to make it even lighter. Is that possible? I don't know. Maybe. Okay. So there you go. A very light, very underpowered engine. But that's the best we can do for our small vehicle. Okay, so let's make this baby. Yay. Why is everything a baby? I have no idea. So, Gearbox. I kind of like how you have to design every small little thing. Okay, select type. Manual. Gears. We're going to go for very basic here. Forward and reverse. I think that's a little bit too basic. It's the 1930s. I think forward and reverse is like too basic. I think forward, high, low and reverse is much more realistic. In fact, you know what? I mean, if it wasn't going to cost me much more, I might go for more gears, because then it might help me to squeeze more out of my engine, maybe. I don't know. Okay, geared for generic. We're just going to leave it generic, because I don't want to go only for fuel, because then what's going to happen is it's going to become very slow and crap. Okay, so okay, 3-gear cheap. I'm just going to call it 3-gear cheap because I can. Right, so specifications. Yes, we've gone to gear ratio, close and wide. Let's put it a bit closer. Yeah, I think that might work. So we get more out of the engine, I think. I could be wrong. Material quality again. We're going to lower this just because, you know, like I keep saying, this is not a priority for us. We just want to have a nice cheap starter vehicle to make some money, to get ourselves out there. We don't particularly want to be spending loads of money, to be fair. Design focus, performance focus, again low. Fuel consumption, yeah, we'll have that quite high. Shifting ease, we'll just reduce that slightly. We do still want, and the dependability we want quite high, like so. There we go, that should do it. So look at the summary again. It's $93 for Gearbox. Performance focus, fuel consumption. Let's drop this to 70. Probably won't make much difference. Let's drop this to 70. Okay. Okay. So it looks like, yeah, I think we should be okay with that. Okay, so now I'm just going to look at my design. So I can't actually make the vehicle until all this stuff is ready. So let's view Gearbox. 2 months, it says. View engine. 4 months. So the other one was 5 months. So I'm going to go back to the office. And I'm going to skip on 5 months. Because that's when all my stuff will be ready. We can't really do that much until all my stuff is ready. So I just, as you can see, I just clicked on the clock and everything. There we go. So we should be now ready to design the actual vehicle. Like so. So, advanced. Body type. Now I'm going to go for, oh, you know what I need to do first? I nearly forgot this. I can't really take this for granted because it might have changed. I believe it is here. Reports. You go here, go to reports. Body style demand in Europe is what we want. So we need to find something average. Microcar. So I was going to make a microcar. That's one of the highest ones. So let's go for microcar. Yeah. That was one of the ones that I was going to go for, but I just wanted to make sure it was in relatively high demand before I went to actually making that and then finding out it was all wrong. But no, it's fine. So microcar. Select chassis. Basic, cheap. Select engine. Small, cheap. This is going to be a great vehicle, isn't it? Not. 3 gear, cheap. Model name. Micro basic. That sounds like a programming language. It probably is. Anyway, okay. So now we're going to go through this like we did with, oopsie, not that. We're going to go through this like we did the other thing. So we got 3 options here. Ulster, Hanomag, or the Bantam. I quite like the Hanomag. It looks quite nice to me. So we're going to select that. Yeah, that looks nice to me. I like the look of that. Okay, so now we're going to go through the process of adding stuff. So click to place. I'm going to do on here the click to place option. So what kind of wheels? You want quite small wheels. Let's see what these look like. Ooh, they look alright. Whoa. No, that's not going to work. They look weird. They look very weird, those ones. Let's try these ones. Whoa. They look a bit better. I don't know. They look like they're too large for the wheel rim. I don't know. Are they all like that? Let's try the first one. Oh, you know what? I didn't realise you can go like that. That there are more things, more options. There you go. That looks better, doesn't it? Can I clone them? It says I can clone them, but I don't know how to actually. Anyway. Should be fine. So we'll choose the first one again. Stick it here. Go down. I mean, they look fine. It was just I want them to be a bit smaller to fit into the arch, the wheel arch, a bit better. They look too big to me. Okay, that'll do. This is a very, very basic vehicle, and this is the 1930s as well, so we're not really going for anything that looks too amazing, are we? We're going for something that looks kind of basic, and I assume all these things have the same value, if you know what I mean. These things are massive. Okay, let's put them on. We want to make them smaller. Yeah. Yeah, I think that'll do. This vehicle is going to look pretty awful anyway, no matter what we do. So we're just trying to make the best of a bad job, aren't we? There you go. Look at those babies. And again, I've gone back to calling them back up. Let's move them forward. Can we move them forward? Yeah, we can. There we go. And they're a bit wide. They're hanging out a bit too much, I'd say. There we go. That looks good. It's quite an easy thing here. The designing is quite easy, but you can't really do much in way of customization. I think the automation game that I was talking about earlier, it seems like you can do much more customization, unless I am missing something, you know. Oh, look at that. Looks perfect. That was easy. There, the tail lights, the tail lights, door handles. We'll just go for something basic. Yep, that looks fine to me. Easy peasy. Oh, axles wheel mount. Where do you put that? Do you put that after or before? What is going on with that? That's weird. Are you supposed to put these before the wheels? Let's try. Yes. Oops. Oops. It's a good job I realised that, isn't it? Because I think that's quite an important part of the vehicle. It kind of sticks out a bit. I don't know if that has worked correctly. It's not clear to me whether that's worked correctly. Anyway, let's try and stick the wheels on again. And if they look weird, yeah, what is going on with that? That is weird looking. The axle thing is like sticking out. You know what? I'm just not going to have that bit because it looks like you don't need, actually. I mean, I could be wrong there, but it doesn't look like you need these things. Because why would they stick out like that? Anyway, we'll see. Whoopsie. Let's try to add the wheels again. Whoops. Let's try and add the wheels again. And try not to fail badly this time. This time, yeah, we're just at... I mean, it's not clear to me whether you have to use that hub thing. Anyway, I don't know, we'll see. Okay. I'm relatively happy with that. I mean, like I said a million times, this is a very, very basic vehicle we got going here. Okay, so I think we're happy with that. I'm going to use a different colour. Maybe red. Everyone likes a red car, right? There you go. Red. Looks lovely now, doesn't it? Okay, finished. Look at that. Nice. Finished. Okay. Micro Basic. Save. Micro Basic 2. Save. Okay guys, so I'm going to go back to the office. So that is going to be the end of this first video. It's just an introduction video and also me making my first vehicle. So thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.